Welcome. For those of you leading a modern manufacturing operation, maybe you're the CEO looking at the big picture, or perhaps you're an operations manager right there in the thick of it daily. You need that clear view across everything. You want to be informed, definitely, but well, drowning in data isn't helpful, is it? Today
hmm
we're really zoning in on two key systems, probably central to what you do. ERP, that's Enterprise Resource Planning, and MES, Manufacturing Execution Systems.
Absolutely. You can think of ERP and MES as maybe the cornerstones of your digital manufacturing setup. Both are vital, no question. But often they kind of operate in their own world, and it's where they meet or sometimes where they don't meet, that's where you start seeing problems. Inefficiencies, data stuck in silos. That clear view you need, it gets foggy.
That's really the heart of it, isn't it? That potential gap, that disconnect between the ERP and the MES. So, our mission today in this deep dive is clear. We want to shed light on what each system does, yes, but more importantly, look at how a solution, specifically MV2, is actually built to bridge that gap. We want to explore how closing that gap helps you, as operations managers and CEOs, make better decisions both day to day and strategically.
Okay, let's start with ERP systems then. You're probably somewhat familiar with these. Platforms like, say, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central are pretty common examples. These systems are designed to manage, well, the whole business, really. We're talking financials, absolutely critical, your supply chain, CRM, HR, and also high-level production planning and managing orders. It's like the central command for the business.
Right. So ERP gives you that essential, bird's eye view. It handles this big business transactions, helps with the long range planning, seeing the forest. But for those of you really focused on the production floor, the day to day, getting into the real details, that's where ERP sometimes falls short. It's a bit like using a skate map to navigate inside a single factory building. The detail just isn't quite there, right?
Precisely. And that's exactly where MES platforms, and specifically thinking about MV2 here, come into play. Their entire world is the shop floor. Think real-time monitoring of production, controlling processes as they happen. They deliver the detailed work instructions your teams need right at the workstation. They track how machines are being used, manage quality right there, track labor, handle the minute-by-minute scheduling. And crucially, they gather all that really granular data directly from the machines, from the operators.
Okay, so if ERP is the strategic HQ, MES is like the operations center on the ground floor, giving you that microscopic view, capturing immediate real-time data that lets you act fast, make improvements right where things are actually happening. The difference in focus is pretty stark.
And that brings us right back to that critical gap we mentioned.
Yeah.
It really stems from these fundamental differences in what they're designed to do. Let's break it down. First, scope. ERP is enterprise-wide, touches finance, sales, everything. MES, strictly shop floor. Then there's timing. ERP often looks back, historical data, completed transactions. MES is now, real-time operational data as things happen.
And the level of detail, too, that's a big one. ERP gives you summaries, high-level views for management. But to actually run the line, you need that super detailed process-specific data you get from an MES. So naturally, the primary users are different. Upper management, finance, planners, they live in the ERP. Operations managers, supervisors, the operators themselves, they're using the MES day in, day out.
Exactly. And finally, the data focus. ERP cares about business transactions, orders, invoices. MES is all about the production process itself. Cycles, temperatures, counts, quality checks.
You can see how, if those two worlds aren't connected properly, things start to go wrong.
Right. And that's where the pain points show up. The kind of stuff that probably sounds familiar to a lot of people listening.
hmm
Think about manual data entry. Someone literally typing info from a shop floor report into the ERP.
Yeah. Recipe for errors and delays.
Definitely errors and delays, which then makes it incredibly hard to make quick, smart decisions because the picture you have isn't complete or current. It's like trying to navigate with an old map.
Yeah, and it means your plans in the ERP, however well thought out, might just be totally unrealistic compared to what's actually happening or possible on the floor, right?
Exactly, a total disconnect between planning and execution.
And what about costs? Trying to figure out your actual production costs when the data isn't flowing smoothly between systems must be a nightmare.
It's a major challenge. You don't have that real-time link between operational activities and their financial impact.
Okay, so this gap is clearly a problem. How does MV2 specifically step in to fix this?
Well, this is precisely what MV2 is engineered for. Its manufacturing execution system is designed from the ground up to integrate tightly with ERP systems, especially platforms like Dynamics 365 Business Central. The goal is to create what we call a unified digital ecosystem, where information just flows smoothly, transparently between the business level and the factory floor.
Okay, a unified ecosystem. Sounds good. But how does MV2 actually do that? What are the mechanics?
It really comes down to four key things MV2 does. First, it establishes a really solid bidirectional data flow. It's not just information going one way. Production orders from your ERP. They flow straight into MV2, becoming detailed work instructions.
Makes sense.
Then, critical production data completion, scrap, labor time flows back from MV2 into the ERP in real time. This also means inventory levels get updated automatically. Everyone sees the same numbers.
Ah, so inventory syncs automatically. That's huge.
It is. And even things like quality test results captured in MV2 can be sent back to the ERP, informing supplier management or customer service follow-up.
So that two-way street is vital, getting that shop floor intelligence back into the business context.
Exactly. Which leads to the second point. Real-time visibility with business context. MV2 often provides dashboards that connect the dots, so an operations manager can see, okay, this delay on machine 5, it's going to impact these specific customer orders.
Right, connecting the operational issue to the business impact.
Precisely. Understanding the financial hit of downtime or a quality problem almost instantly. Tracking actual costs versus standard costs as they happen, not weeks later. And this helps make much smarter decisions about where to put resources based on real customer priorities flowing from the ERP.
So it's not just raw data, it's intelligent data linked to what matters for the business. What's the third pillar?
The third is MV2's modern cloud-based integration architecture. Being built on Microsoft Azure is a big advantage. Often you'll find pre-built connectors ready to go for systems like Dynamics 365 Business Central. That makes implementation much, much simpler.
Easier setup, less custom coding.
Right. And for other systems, it uses flexible APIs. Plus, being cloud-based means less IT headache compared to old on-premise integrations. And you get automatic updates, keeping things compatible as both systems evolve.
Lower IT burden, stays up to date. That sounds very appealing for manufacturing IT teams. And the fourth point.
The fourth, and this is really foundational, is establishing consistent data definitions. It sounds technical, maybe a bit dry, but it's critical. MV2 helps ensure product definitions are the same in both systems. Work centers, resources, they're mapped consistently. Quality parameters are uniform. Time tracking, performance metrics, they're aligned. It means everyone's working from the same playbook, speaking the same data language.
Got it. So no more confusion because one system calls something widget A and the other calls it part #123. Everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And when manufacturers put this all together, integrating MV2 with their ERP, the results, well, they speak for themselves. We see on average a 28% reduction in production lead times. Think about what that means for competitiveness.
Wow, 28% faster. That's significant.
And a 35% improvement in on-time delivery. Keeping customers happy is key.
Absolutely critical. Those are impressive numbers already. What else?
There's more. Typically, a 15% decrease in inventory levels. That frees up cash, reduces space needs. Also, a 42% reduction in paper-based processes. Think efficiency, fewer errors, more sustainable ops.
Less paper shuffling. Definitely a plus.
And finally, about a 23% increase in machine utilization, getting more out of the expensive equipment you already own.
Those are serious bottom line impacts. A 23% jump in utilization, reducing lead times by over a quarter. It really highlights that the magic isn't just having ERP and MES, it's making them work together.
That's the absolute key takeaway. It's not ERP or MES. You need both. The challenge is bridging that inherent gap. And MV2 is purpose-built for that, especially if you're using Dynamics 365 Business Central. It's designed for manufacturing and integrates smoothly, provides that real-time data flow, gets rid of those silos, and the cloud deployment just makes it more manageable.
So for our listeners, the operations managers dealing with the shop floor, the CEOs looking at overall strategy, MV2 really seems positioned as that essential link, connecting the high-level business view with the ground-level reality.
Precisely. Integrating ERP and MES with a solution like MV2 isn't just about adding software. It's about building a stronger foundation for efficiency, for faster, smarter decisions, and ultimately for a more profitable business.
So wrapping up, the real power emerges from that seamless integration, doesn't it? Getting ERP and MES working in sync isn't just a nice idea anymore. It feels fundamental for competing today. And MV2 offers a clear, effective way to achieve that integration, unlocking some pretty substantial benefits along the way.
Yeah. Maybe leave the listeners with this thought. Imagine you had complete real-time visibility across your entire process, from the second an order hits the ERP right through to the finished product shipping out. How would that change how you make strategic choices, how you manage things day to day? What immediate problems, what bottlenecks could you suddenly see and fix with that kind of integrated insight?
That's definitely something to think about. Powerful questions. And if exploring how that level of integration could genuinely transform your operations sounds interesting, then we encourage you to schedule a demo today. See for yourself what a truly unified manufacturing environment powered by MV2 could do.